Now, back to Tony and Casey's Best of Food and Wine on CL 650.
Welcome back to the Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Casey Wilson.
Sandra Ofield's in the house.
Yay.
How are you, Sandra?
Very well. How are you?
I'm well. And Andrew Windsor, winemaker from Tinhorn Creek. Andrew, how are you?
I'm very well,
You're
thanks.
looking very dapper, let me say.
He's very dapper.
I had to find a new scarf, actually.
Were you
after
expecting a snowstorm today, or what? Or is that just your I'm a half Italian look?
It's trying to keep up with the Italians. There's
They're
some pretty
pretty
suave
pretty
dudes running
Natalie
around this
dressed
party
dudes,
right now.
eh?
Absolutely.
I don't see the other Andrew dressed like that.
Yeah.
I saw him earlier.
He's not. He's Australian. I don't think they even sell
Seriously.
scarves in
There's no
Australia.
hope. There's no hope for the other Andrew, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No kidding.
No kidding. I just asked you, how is it out there on the floor?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
We were trying to get here to get to you, and it was like swimming upstream or something.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Wow. That's
It's
good to know.
Crazy. Yeah.
Good energy. There's better energy here sometimes than there is in the wine industry in BC.
I think the wine industry in BC has awesome energy.
You do.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
It does, Sandra.
it's
The
all.
whole wine industry.
It's what you bring to it, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, let's before we get into the thorny stuff, which we won't.
Good.
Let's talk about wine. Andrew, how's it going up there?
Very good. Yeah.
Are you getting any hassles from the CEO, or can you just do what you want?
I can't do it entirely what I want, but I just don't reveal everything that I do. So
I
Fair enough.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
try and fly under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's good.
that's good. I like
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah.
you're away so much anyway. See us.
No, I'm not. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what you brought in to start with. We have a lovely labeled Chardonnay here.
It'll be a real label
Yeah.
in about a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, it
but
should
this
go to bottle
is
in a
a tank sample of our first Golden Mile Bench wine, which is a Chardonnay from the home block in front of my house.
Got to
It's
feel good about that, eh?
Yep, 2014. It was a long time in the making, getting to be able to put down the bottle. So, and the wine is crazy good.
So will the first
Yeah.
case be buried somewhere or set aside, or how?
We still
A time
do like
capsule.
at least 4 go into the library,
The
but
vault,
yeah,
yeah.
burying one's a really good idea.
I think
So
so
you've
for the
watched
first
it from
vintage.
your window.
That's right. But,
Great.
you know, the whole process of getting a Golden Mile Bench sub-appellation was a lot longer than we thought it was going to be. And,
Yes.
and then it's just so great to have Andrew here to make that wine for us. So pretty excited about it.
Wow.
It's sort of
It's crazy.
also our first attempt at like a reserve style Chardonnay.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And it's quite refined.
Yes.
It's
I
more
hope-
refined than reserve. I love that.
I hope you like it.
Yeah, it's
We
delicious.
made it just for you, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And when will it be released?
In May,
In May.
May.
And do we have a price yet?
about
It's
35.
free.
And how tough was that? Did you want to? It's worth 50. What did you
I don't
want to
know.
sell it for?
About 40. It might still come out for 40.
I know.
I think it's great. We only made like 400 cases
Well,
of
let's
it.
talk about the wine.
Yeah.
What? Tell us how you make the wine.
Um,
What have you told Sandra? I'm going to make this wine.
Well, I think at the time, I don't know if the sub-appellation had been even approved yet, but I
Right.
knew, I've been at Tinhorn for, 6 months at that point. I knew we were pretty far into the process, coming from Ontario, not really knowing how all that was evolving here.
Yep.
And so definitely right from the start, I was going to make a separate Chardonnay. I was going to make a reserve Chardonnay. Fingers crossed that we'd be able to do exactly this,
Yeah.
and it's turned out well. It's fourth leaf, so it's a young block. Whole cluster pressed, pretty much straight to New French oak.
Yep.
100% barrel fermented, native yeast, native mallow. 4 months later, we pulled out half of it to stainless steel, and that's where it currently resides. Should go to bottle, as Sandra said, in about a month.
And is it a mix of clones, or what was planted there?
No, it's all one clone, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to, it was one of the first blocks that Andrew Moon planted when he came in.
Right.
So I want to say it was around, he came in 6 years ago. It was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was planted. So,
I like
Yeah.
the style.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah. It's
And-
rich, but it's not over the top rich. It's got nice length and persistence.
Yeah.
And
So this block used to be Chardonnay, and it was back in the 80s, it used to be sold to Howard at up in Kelowna Vineyards, and when we started using it for our own grapes, he was pretty upset because he liked the tropicalness that came out of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And so what was neat was when that vineyard was time to be replanted and we went with Chardonnay again, I still feel we're getting some of those really neat notes that we got, even though it's a different clone, a different age vine, different way of farming it. There's some of that. It's got to be terroir, right? Because it's still there in the
So
wine.
how old was it when Howard was buying? How old
Oh,
were the
God.
vines?
They had to have been as young as these are now,
Really?
like 20 years ago, right?
Yes.
I'd say they were 3 or 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. It was planted originally by a school teacher, and then they sold the vineyard to us. But it's just that small couple acres in front of my house. So, yeah.
Will this be cork finished or?
No, it's Stelvin.
Good.
Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, I'm okay.
Good.
I don't know why you would ask me anyway.
Well, I just
I'm
thought, like, why are
surprised.
you asking if
Why
it would
are
have
you
had a cork
asking?
in it? Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just thought maybe it's would be something different. I don't know.
No, we're good
Good.
with Stelvin.
You're good with Stelvin?
Me, 100%, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, anyone that's in this business and has popped enough corks has seen too many crimes, unfortunately, unfold
Yes.
when
Yeah.
they open corked wines. And anytime we're doing dinners or anywhere we go with any of our wines under Stelvin, you're 100% confident that there's nothing wrong with it. So, not really a question in my mind to go back to the old traditional style.
Our guests are Andrew Windsor. He's the winemaker at Tinhorn Creek Sandro Field, ex-winemaker, now CEO and president. Big title. Andrew, so what are you making more wine or less wine, or what changes are there
Well-
any changes that we can talk about in terms of?
I think
entire-
being predominantly an estate winery, we're obviously at the whims of Mother Nature, what Mother Nature gives us.
Yeah.
In 15, that was certainly less than 14. But in terms of changes, I think, I mean, definitely moving towards more natural processes in the winemaking. Our CFO was, as boring, but submitting budgets, and he was asking me, why is all of a sudden our wine ingredients budget 50% of what it had been? And I just said, well, I don't put anything in there. So,
Yeah.
No yeast and
yeah,
it's great.
and so you start with that, and then we've got some funky things coming out. We have a skin fermented Kerner coming out, which I
Right.
think I poured
Okay.
for you last time we
Yeah.
interviewed. That's still hanging out in barrel and going to be ready to go in a couple of weeks as well. So
Great.
and just looking to do little innovative things to help keep
Yeah.
the brand fresh. And
Well, you, Sandra, you have a big wine club.
Yeah.
Active wine club.
Yeah, I know, like, that's why it
Half
took
of
so
them are
long to
here,
get
I
here,
guess.
because I kept bumping into him in
just
the
giving
room.
them the old high five
Yeah,
down the road.
yeah, absolutely.
They demand new stuff, or they want how does?
Oh, yeah.
You know, they do,
They
but
do
I
it.
have to tell you, they really like just feeling like they're a part of the winery. So, I mean, yes,
Well, you
they
treat them
love
so
their own.
well.
They love their own, wines. But I mean, ultimately, even if they don't, they feel like they have a piece of our winery. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And
so
you throw
that's why
great
they stay there.
parties for
Yeah,
them.
they stay in the club for a long time when they join.
And the nice thing
Yeah.
is we see them often enough that, I haven't even been with the winery for 2 years now, and I'm starting to recognize a significant number of people that come
Yeah.
to our events, and they're always, as Sandra said, they feel like they're part of the
Yeah.
Tinhorn family and the clan, and it's pretty
Repeat
cool.
offenders.
Yeah, so they're like, what are you making now? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't tell us about that 2 years ago. So they definitely want to know, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this wine, like this Chardonnay, this would go mostly to the club members.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what percentage of your wines will be bench wines now, and how will that evolve?
Not many, because, we're still pretty big believers. We have, obviously,
Yeah,
vineyards on both sides of the
sides.
valley.
It's a
and
good
so,
segue into the next wine, actually.
Yeah,
Sure.
fair enough, the two-bench red. So,
You guys should run the show. This is good.
to be honest, I think we have a Gewürztraminer this year that's only from the Golden Mile bench,
Yeah.
with no other fruit in it, and we have a Roussanne that's coming online in about 3 years. That'll be from the Golden Mile bench.
Roussanne.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's
Nice.
interesting.
yeah. So that took over the Kerner. But actually, not that much. I mean, I'd say still most of our wines are a blend of both. There'll just be a few. This Chardonnay will be one, obviously. Yeah.
Two bench red.
Yeah. Yeah, so it comes from both sides of the valley. Obviously the main part of it comes from Black Sage, the Cab Sauv, the Cab Franc, the Merlot, and then from the Tinhorn Creek side, the Malbec Petit Verdot. Yeah.
And it's has this wine changed much from the original inception, or?
Well, I'd have to say when I was blending before, if it was a really strong year, it would tend to see more Cab Sauv. But I mean, if it was not, it would see a lot more Cab Franc and a little bit more Merlot. Yeah. Yeah.
You like making blends? Is it?
Absolutely. This wine in 14 and 15 are going to be dynamite too. The Cab Sauv is probably the strongest red variety of the last two vintages in my mind, and you know it says a lot about warm vintages in the Okanagan, especially in the South Okanagan, where we can get our Cab Sauv to be right up there. Like I just came back from Napa and was tasting some wines at some newer wineries there, like Odette's, and doing some barrel tastings of their 14s and 15s, and I see the same flavor components. That blueberry jam that gets seized brighter acids.
Yeah.
And ours is right in line with those, and about $150 less. So.
Yeah, a little less per ton too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Probably more
nice.
like $200 with the dollar. So.
Yeah, well that's true.
Yes, right. But we're not paying American dollars to go to the concert series.
No. So we're bringing back 5440 this year on September 10th. That'll be really fun. So I mean, you gotta have a little bit of fun as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth joining the club to get tickets.
Yeah, I think the club just kind of has a life of its own. Really,
Yes.
it does, and yeah, they love coming to the concerts. They get like a little reception ahead of time and some special wines to taste, and it's all good.
So the series is on the website now.
Yep.
It's up on your website.
Yep, just
if
started
people
selling
want
tickets,
to head up to Tinhorn Creek this summer.
Yep, we are doing a concert on May, June, July, and August, and then another one with 5440 in September.
Great. All
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah, we're always Canadian. There's been a couple times I've wanted to bring in some American bands, but we've stuck with the Canadian.
Well, you
The
can't
Can-
afford to pay them
Canadian,
now.
True enough. Now I probably wouldn't be paying them, but yeah, there's a lot of good Canadian talent, and they love coming to play such a small venue, and we're happy to have them. So, yeah.
Is it warm up there? Is it going to be a
It's
early
been
start, do you think?
pretty mild February for sure. It's
It's
been
kinda like last year a
7
little bit.
degrees every day. It's
Yeah.
It's a little
Soil's
bit like
warming
last
up.
year.
Yeah.
There's some bud bursts in California already, so it's going to be like 15. I'm
I
guessing.
have a feeling it's feeling a lot like 15 right now to
Yeah.
me as well.
Still very brown out there too. We haven't had much snow or rain, so
But there's
Yeah.
more snowpack, I hear, more
Yeah.
water around
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're excited, and yeah. So, we never close though. I mean, we're kind of boring that way. We're always open, and the amphitheater hasn't had snow in it for like a month, and it's green, and it almost
Yeah.
looks like we should be doing a show right now, but it's a little chillier.
Right.
So, yeah,
We will soon.
yeah.
Great to
Oh,
catch
I'm so
up
glad
with
you didn't ask me any difficult questions today, Tony.
I'm done with that. That'll be for another day.
Fair enough.
You know what? Great to see both of you.
Yeah,
Enjoy
thank you
the
very much.
crowds. I think it's so inspiring to have people come up and chat to you for 3 days and really, they
Yeah.
want to taste the wine. They want to talk to you. I think
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, doesn't that recharge your batteries a bit?
I
when you
think
meet-
so. Does it recharge your battery? Like,
Totally.
do you like feel the
Totally.
love in the room, and then you know why you're
Well,
in this?
I feel the energy, and
Yeah.
I feel that people will still care about wine.
That's
and,
right.
And that makes me feel really good. So
Oh, I was just at a great seminar, and everyone there, it was really impressive. Sat next to somebody who's never had a wine over $50 before, and
Yeah.
she's ruined now. Like,
Yeah.
she'll never,
I love that.
she'll never go back to
Yeah.
the cheap stuff.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks so
thanks,
much.
guys.
Okay, Sandra Ofield, of course, CEO and president at Tinhorn Creek, and Andrew Windsor, who's most of his wines are just starting to roll out. It's going to be a great time up at Tinhorn Creek, and we're going to come by and see you in not too long. Our Art's giving me the old, we're dead here. We'll see you soon in the Okanagan. There's still lots more ahead on the Best of Food and Wine. We're live on location from the floor of the Vancouver International Wine Festival, year 38. Stick around. I'm Tony Gismondi. She's Casey Wilson.
This is This is Tony and Casey's Best of Food and Wine on CL 650.